Also based on the 4.5-litre Bentley, the blower was born in the late 20s. Of the original 55 produced, 46 or 47 remain today. And even when they are not used as originally intended, they are still real eye-catchers.
It's obviously emotionally it's a fantastic car to drive because it's so important historically. It's probably the most valuable Bentley that exists. Arguably the price will be somewhere between 12 and 15 million pounds, something like that. But it's a car that will always remain a part of the Bentley Heritage Collection, so we'll never know. Tim Birkin, who was one of the leading drivers of his day, one of the famous Bentley Boys, he saw the threat of the Mercedes compressor, the SSK, coming, and he felt that Mr. Bentley should supercharge one of his cars, the 4.5-litre. Bentley disagreed.
To put it in simple terms, Bentley was against increasing engine performance with this compressor. He was convinced it would be better to use a larger motor. He did, however, agree to sell 55 chassis to Birkin. Birkin converted them, and his very own racing car is now owned by Bentley Motors. The cars did in fact sell, but they didn't convince Bentley.
He didn't change his mind, no, because in fact the blower, even though it's probably the most famous of all the vintage Bentleys, never won a race.
W.O. Bentley
was a technician and not a businessman, and he was always in dire financial straits. He had repeated trouble keeping the company above water, and he was always dependent on donors. But he had a whole bunch of fearless racers who drove for him, and also well-heeled sponsors in the background, known as the infamous Bentley Boys. Some of them were sons of really wealthy families who also brought money into the company.
Although the 8-litre model sold very successfully, the global recession at the beginning of the 30s also forced W.O. Bentley to his knees. The last car produced under his leadership was the Bentley 4-litre in 1931. 50 were produced, but the engine was already no longer the company's own product.
That development was a sort of last resort. It happened in a period when the big engines with their high fuel consumption were no longer in demand. Rolls-Royce had responded to this situation a lot earlier, and Bentley probably saw the signs of the times too late. This one is in absolutely original condition. The interior, original paint, everything just as when it was produced in 1931. The chassis was taken over from the 8-litre Bentley, so it's very robust and drives very nicely, but it's not a car that reflects the sporty Bentley image.